was a great accomplishment. Nonetheless, I was disappointed that my friends I'd grown up with were going to the local school, Junipero Serra, and now I'm extremely glad I did not go there. Suddenly, I was thrust amidst 15,000 men, not knowing a soul. The other freshmen I met made it easier for me to be myself and make friends. And today I call these seniors my brothers. I learned to trust myself, to thrive in new surroundings, and that I am the catalyst for my own contentment. I'd also been able to explore things that I couldn't have otherwise, like 2 semesters in Dr. Dalton's class, a semester in Mr. Bliss's, and especially cultural immersion trips led by Ache. I'm now quite a supporter of immersion. Last summer I went on a service and cultural immersion trip to a poor rural part of Mexico to work at the orphanage in Potorac. At first I was quite timid, yet soon I became like a brother to these kids formerly from the streets. Their unconditional kindness and thirst to know me and my life stories forever changed how I view my place in the world. I realized how happy people can be dwelling in such simplicity, and now it is easy for me to be content with less and really think about what is important. Family is important to everyone I've ever met, especially the children in the orphanage. My experience at Potorac emphasized my value of family, and when I returned home from Mexico, I was immediately faced with bad news. My mother's sister was diagnosed with cancer before I left to Mexico, but at the time I spent away, her cancer escalated and got worse. My aunt passed away a couple of days before Christmas, and her 10-month battle with leukemia that preceded her passing was a time of immense adversity for my family. During this time of anguish, particularly for my mother, I became her assistant, assuming housekeeping tasks and other chores to relieve stress. I proved to myself that I could be supportive even in a time when I was also feeling great pressure. Aunt Esther is a character I read and learned about in Mr. Henry's August Wilson seminar. She's a great supporter of her neighbors in times of tremendous stress. Aunt Esther also makes a note that having family is quite important. She emphasizes the need of love for others around you. And at the orphanage, there's so much unconditional love and affection going around amongst one another. It's truly amazing. In August Wilson's play, Gem of the Ocean, Aunt Esther says, "Love will go a long way toward making you right with yourself." This point is paralleled by many philosophers' statements and principles that Dr. Bellarmine addressed in his Christian ethics class. Socrates emphasizes a love for everything and to embrace the goods, including the small things in life. Dr. Dalton's classes were the most meaningful academic experience I've encountered, and I owe Dr. Dalton tremendous thanks. In my immersion trip to Skid Row, an appreciation of the small things in life, like having a warm meal every night, was so important to these homeless men and former gang members. At Homeboy Industries, a former gang member left his gang not only because he was afraid to die, but because he wanted to experience a true family. Family is somewhere that gang members usually have volatile situations. However, this is not always the case. The reasoning is that they have nobody to depend on and nobody depends on them. Gang members are not all bad people. They're just unable to see any other option. If given an opportunity to live comfortably outside of gang involvement, they realize why gangs can be appealing and reach out to help others who may be enticed by gangs. In my experience, I was able to have changed view on gang-related people while reminding myself how truly blessed I am. Without going to Bellarmine, I would not have been able to experience these things that have helped sculpt me into the person I am today. Bellarmine set me on a path of immersion and interest in other cultures that have less than I, both in regards to opportunity and materials. I plan on continuing immersive studies in community service in college, where I will be a freshman again and excited to thrive in a new environment with new people. Thanks to all the teachers who have inspired me to become a man for others, and I could not be more proud to rep the beat.